Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. At the end of the last episode, I was putting in the power for the lights that go on these two blocks, and then the power runs across this area over to the other two gate posts. Here you can see the conduit in place. So today we're going to start on laying the paving blocks across this area. The first thing we need to do is to make sure that the subsoil layer is compacted properly. Here you see a friend of mine who's come to help, Koji, who's going along by the wall foundations, just making sure that everything is compacted around that area. Now, we've had a bit of rain recently, so using the compactor directly on the soil is actually a bit of a problem. It just ends up sticking to the bottom of the compactor. So we're actually using a series of boards here to try and compact as much of the soil as possible. Some parts are a little bit drier, so can run without the boards. He is just helping move some of the boards around. So that we can try and get this done as quickly as possible. I first removed the soil from this area. I actually went down too far, which actually was an opportunity later. So mixed amongst this soil is a lot of the roof tiles. These were broken pieces of tile that came from the original roof to the garage. They'll create a little bit more of a solid base, I hope, and also allow me to get rid of some of those pieces. I still have a huge pile of them. Once the area was compacted, it was time to start laying this separation or stabilization layer between the soil and the stone that's going to go in next. This layer allows the water to penetrate downwards and to seep away. Of course, we need to try and tie in the weed barrier layer with the existing block work that's there. So we're putting in sand around the edge. Then it's time for our first lot of compacted stone, which we had delivered a few months ago now. While I was bringing the stone, Koji was then using a kind of rake to smooth it out over the surface. So we're going to be putting down a layer in total of about 10 centimeters, which is probably about 3.5 inches. Unfortunately, you can't do all 10 centimeters in one go, otherwise it doesn't compact properly. So we have to do about half of that at a time, and then compact, and then put the new layer on top to build the total. Compacting along the edges here is quite difficult with the big compactor. So here I'm using a jackhammer with a compacting head on it, just to make sure that along the edges here it's nicely pressed down. Same along this edge to the garage. You'll also notice that I'm using a wooden board along the edges here. This is basically because although the stone has been undercover, it's actually a bit damp, and using the jackhammer head directly on the stone surface, it just eventually just starts sticking to it. And now it's time to actually start using the big compactor on this stone layer. This is actually the second layer of stone that we've put down. I didn't want to bore you by just repeating the same thing. But you again can see we're using the boards to make sure that it doesn't stick to the compactor. And here you see that final compacted layer. And it's now time for the sand layer to go in. Now I'm going to be doing this area bit by bit. The main reason is that if I put all the sand out across the whole area, and we have rain while I'm not there, and also because being winter, there's a lot of leaves flying around, and it just means a lot of cleanup. So I'm basically going to be doing it section by section. To get the correct level for the sand, I've strung a line which goes all the way from this bottom corner up to the gatepost in the distance. To get the correct level, basically you put in something that won't bend. It could be wood, but in this case I've actually got some metal conduit, which is very thick and is unlikely to bend. This is used to get the correct height, and then you can use a piece of wood or a spirit level to actually scree the surface and flatten the surface to the correct level for the blocks to go on top. The second metal pipe has gone in, and it's now time to start leveling this sand to the correct height. Now that this sand is been leveled, I can then start placing blocks onto that sand level, and here you see a final shot of that particular area. So some of you may be wondering, well, where are all these blocks coming from? This area will be a lawn area later on. And so each of the blocks I have to remove from here, checking the colors as well and the condition. So some of them have got broken edges, etc. So I won't be using those. Over the years, of course, roots and other matter has built up in between the blocks. So the next step, once I've removed them and sorted them, is to actually clean up the edges. This I'm doing with a wire brush, and as you can see, it's extremely time consuming. Just also come to check on progress and keep guard, I guess. I don't know what he's looking for. And of course, it's time to actually start laying these blocks in place. The blocks are different colors, and some of them have a flat edge, whereas some of them have a wavy edge, so it takes a little bit of time to get them in the right place. Dash has come to check on progress again. And here's a quick shot of those blocks in place. Of course, I haven't done along the edges yet because I need to cut blocks to fit there. Again, more of the same. Basically putting the sand down, finding the correct level, putting in the piping to make sure that it stays straight, and then screeing the extra sand from the top to get the right level. Actually, the following weekend, you can see the sun has come out and the sand's already in place, so it's time to lay more blocks. I said earlier in the video, removing these blocks and then cleaning them up is very, very time consuming. What you see here is actually bamboo. So my plan this time is to pile the blocks up and then actually use the pressure washer to clean a whole group of blocks in one go. It should speed up the process a bit, I hope. It also allows me to see the actual colours a bit clearer before I start lifting them up, so that I can sort them into the correct pile. And basically more of the same, really. It was at this point that I realized that if I was to continue going across, I really need to have a good look at what the existing paving is like, the level, if any of the blocks had actually dropped, and the condition of them before going any further. If I need to lift any of these up, I need to know now. The way to do this, of course, is to use the pressure washer. The final shot of the new paving and the cleaned paving, and again Dash has come to check on progress. Notice in the top of this shot that those posts are still not built, and there's a very good reason for that, which I'd like to discuss next. So I finally got around to buying a Daihatsu Hijet. This is a Japanese K truck. These are very common in Japan amongst farmers and kind of laborers, basically because they're very small, they're cheap to insure, they only have a 660cc engine. I've been looking for one of these for quite a while. Unfortunately, they do hold their price. Even old ones seem to be quite expensive. I found this after looking on places like Yahoo Auctions. This model is a 2006 year. It's only done just under 24,000 kilometers. That's about 15,000 miles. All of these back panels fold down to give you a nice flat bed. I managed to pick this up for 275,000 Japanese yen, which is about 1,900 US dollars. It seems to be in pretty good condition, including the interior. The seats are not ripped. There doesn't seem to be any rust on the sills. It's also got 5 new tyres, including the spare. The frame along the side also looks to be straight and in pretty good condition. I'm quite happy with it. It'll also allow me to carry a lot more materials. Previously, I've been carrying the things like concrete and blocks in my tiny little Suzuki Swift. Of course, Dash is ready to go. Here you can see the back loaded up with blocks, bags of sand and concrete, which is great. Capacity is about 350 kilograms or 775 pounds. Coming up in the next video, I finally got around to building these posts. We just need to build the caps and wire in the lights. Thanks again to everybody who's been watching and has subscribed and made comments. If you want to see more, then do the usual stuff and click the buttons above.